Chapter 20. What to do when reality goes wrong. Practical. Adversity is guaranteed in reality. There will be times when, despite all your efforts, reality feels heavy, like everything is going wrong and the world is against you. There will be times when it feels like nothing that you are doing is working. There will be times you question your ability to change your reality. Adversity is inescapable, but that does not make it the be-all and end-all. How you deal with the frequent lows of reality is true alchemy. How you respond to reality going wrong determines whether you reinforce your old reality or solidify the new one. In moments of adversity, we often unconsciously slip back into the old frequency, unknowingly reinforcing the very reality we're trying to leave behind. There are 4 ways to deal with adversity. Keeping them in your arsenal will prevent the destruction of the frequency of your desired reality. 1. Give yourself grace. You have been asleep much longer than you have been awake. You've spent more time in the frequency of your old world, being asleep, than you have being awakened. This means that the strength of the old frequency is more solidified and momentarily stronger than the new frequency into which you're currently trying to shift. It's likely that you've spent more years of your life without this knowledge than with it, and remembering this is the path to giving yourself grace. Mistakenly, as you begin to expand your consciousness and become aware of the mechanics of the universe, it can lead to your old frequency setting a trap, and that is to set you up with the desire to strive for perfection and excellence all the time. It does this because it knows you can't achieve this, so eventually, when you fail, you'll descend into the very same emotions it feeds on. How do you feel when things are going wrong? Hopeless, frustrated, irritated, confused, apathetic. These are the very emotions feeding your old frequency. They're its fuel source, keeping it alive and active. The moment you descend into the negative emotions that it desires, you no longer see clearly. Without a proper perspective, you'll feel guilty at every stumble, negatively altering the frequency you emit. Without a proper perspective, you'll feel annoyed at every stumble, negatively altering the frequency you emit. Without a proper perspective, you'll feel frustrated at every stumble, negatively altering the frequency you emit. Without a proper perspective, you'll feel hopeless at every stumble, negatively altering the frequency you emit. The old frequency wants to make you feel like you've let yourself down. You feel like you've let down your desired reality and that all your work is ruined. Your progression towards your desired reality can never be lost. The only loss is in the belief of your desired frequency already existing. People often spiral when they slip, thinking they've gone back to square one. But the truth is, you only return to square one if you decide you're back there. It's not the slip that resets you, it's the meaning you give it. It's a scam. Before Ponzi, there were entities. You fail, you feel guilty, and then that guilt consumes you, drowns you, and without even realizing it, time has passed and you're back in your old ways. Until you know what I'm about to tell you, you'll continue to fall for this scam. So listen up. I'm sorry to break it to you, but you can't be high frequency all the time. One of the most misleading aspects of the spiritual community is its overemphasis on being high frequency or high vibrational. Ironically, it's this very fixation that often keeps people stuck in so-called lower states. Trying to be on a higher frequency all the time will cause you to be on a lower frequency. Frequency is simply a level of awareness. To be in a higher frequency isn't about feeling good or euphoric, although that is a side effect of having a higher level of awareness. To be in a low frequency is to have a low level of awareness. The lens through which you see reality is distorted and blurred by you. Frequencies are forever oscillating. Upper, down, upper, down. This is the nature of the universe. So why do you think you can fight it? Frequencies aren't still. They're always moving, even if ever so slightly. The truth is, you falling back into your old frequency is completely normal. In fact, it's forever going to happen. As you know, you can't have high without low and light without dark. So why are you shocked you've fallen? Did you not rise first? This is the nature of the universe. The ancient alchemists referred to this as the law of rhythm. Everything flows, out and in. Everything has its tides. All things rise and fall. The pendulum swing manifests in everything. The measure of the swing to the right is the measure of the swing to the left. Rhythm compensates. The Kybalion. All things rise and fall. The measure of the swing to the right is the measure of the swing to the left. Falling back into your old ways is part of the universe. The issue is, you're trying to fight a tide, and you can't. Being frustrated with falling back into your old patterns is like being upset that night turns to day. You're striving for something that doesn't exist and isn't attainable. Once again, you're being set up. Once you recognize that falling back into your old frequency is simply part of the ebbs and flows of the universe, you'll be in a position to actually transmute it. You're not going to be disappointed every time you have a slip in frequency because it's normal. You can't rise without a drop. You can't have higher without the lower. The first step to getting back into your new frequency is freeing yourself from the frustration and guilt. Frustration and guilt bind you to your old frequency. They are a poisonous glue that destroys you. The more you resist, the more they persist. The only reason you've fallen is because you've risen. While you're wallowing in self-pity, guilt, and frustration, those emotions blind you and make you forget that you rose to begin with. You couldn't have fallen back into your old frequency if you hadn't risen out of it, which means you can do it again. This revelation can give you the confidence and empowerment to disrupt the negative emotions that are currently clouding you. The mistake most people make when they fall back into their old frequency is focusing on their failure. This feeds their old frequency, which becomes stronger. They fail to realize they could have just fed the new frequency instead. Feeding the new frequency is so simple. Just focus on your past wins. This will tap you into the frequency you had while you were rising. This energy can never be destroyed, as it exists within, so you will always be able to return to it. It all begins with your concentration. Whether you realize this or not, you've been focusing on what you don't want to experience, consciously or unconsciously. As a result, your concentration has altered your vibration, altering what you experience in reality. You need to stop concentrating on your fall and concentrate on your rise. The moment you release the guilt, frustration, and irritation you believe you deserve to feel, you stop feeding the old frequency. That emotional weight does nothing but reinforce what you're trying to move beyond. Recognizing this is the prerequisite to 3 key steps you must take when reality feels like it's falling apart. How did you feel when you rose? How do you feel when you think about how much you elevated yourself? Immerse yourself these feelings and let them marinate. The inability to see your rise isn't a confession that you have not risen, but an indication that the old frequency has clouded your consciousness. You just need to give yourself permission to feel that pride, confidence, and self-accomplishment. Feel it all, because that is the fuel that'll take you back to your desired reality. 1. Transcend the label of wrong. Things only go wrong because you adhere to the illusion of wrong. Reality will only ever be unmovable to the degree that you are unmovable, and you need to rid yourself of adhering to the concept of wrong. Do not forget, since there are no truths in reality other than what the subconscious mind accepts as true, you make the laws of your reality based upon your conviction behind a belief. Once you start to internalize the idea that reality is wrong or things aren't working, you set in motion a frequency that molds your reality to reflect that idea, which is strengthened by the emotions behind it, usually frustration, irritation, annoyance, anger, or sadness. When it comes to your desired reality, reality can never go wrong. Eradicate the concept of wrong from your vocabulary to eradicate it from your reality. What we deem to be right or wrong in our reality is nothing more than the illusionary law of polarity in operation. Energetic pairs such as masculine and feminine, negative and positive, or good and bad, only appear to be separate in our third-dimensional realm. Outside of our reality, on a quantum level, everything is one. There is no separation outside of our reality from where you must materialize your desired reality, meaning you must be above the polarity of reality and begin seeing everything as one. This extends to labeling reality. Everything in reality simply is. The inability to see this is due to our desire to moralize the universe, which will result in nothing more than pain and frustration. The universe doesn't adhere to morality. Gravity acts upon the innocent child in the same manner as it does an evil adult. How would you feel if you knew that nothing can ever truly go wrong in your reality? That despite how things appear temporarily, everything is leading to one place? Traditionally, our concept of things going right or wrong stems from the idea of God, right, and the devil, wrong. Many assume the devil must exist because they believe God, like everything else in reality, something must have an opposite. But this reasoning overlooks a key truth. God exists beyond this reality, and therefore beyond polarity. God is not bound by duality, contrast, or opposites. So if God is above polarity, then God has no true opposition, meaning the concept of the devil as God's equal opposite is a misunderstanding. There is only one power in the universe, and that is God. As it is often said, the devil is a lie. The concept of the devil is rooted in the belief that things can go wrong, that you can stray, take the wrong path, or fall into darkness. But when that darkness is illuminated by the light of truth, the illusion of multiple conflicting paths dissolves, revealing that there was only ever one true path all along. This isn't about debating the existence or validity of the devil, but rather bringing awareness to a deeper truth. There is ultimately only one power in the universe, expressing itself through different vibrational states. Never forget that whatever you experience in reality, so long as you maintain the idea that all paths lead to one place, every apparent change in direction will simply be another route to the same location. There are no detours unless you create them through the idea that things can go wrong. Look at the wrongs of your reality as a delayed form of consciousness, making their way out to create space for your desired reality, as opposed to an indication that they still exist and have power over you. Second, alter how you look at life, and life will alter the way it looks at you. Your perception is being used against you, and until it serves you, it will destroy you. The alchemist takes advantage of the fact that life is meaningless. That does not mean that life is valueless, but the meaning that we attribute to reality is just that, what we attribute. The label or meaning you attribute to reality will ultimately alter your reality to reflect the energy behind that label. If you see everything as going wrong, then everything energetically within that label will imprint itself onto your reality, altering it to reflect everything that is aligned with wrong. Until you can redefine the experiences of reality to serve you, reality will control you. To truly alchemize your reality, see everything going wrong as sign that everything is going right. Remember, the only difference between things going well for you and things going badly for you is the rate of vibration. Your vibration is preceded by your concentration. If you continuously focus on the aspects of your reality which are going wrong, that concentration will be reflected in your vibration, which will gain momentum until it becomes a frequency, and every frequency must turn into a reality. Alternatively, if you consistently focus on the parts of your reality where everything is going right, with enough momentum, this vibration becomes your dominant frequency. You can have good intentions in your reality, but ultimately, your concentration is more powerful than your intention. Third, stand calmly among the chaos. The world can only give you what you give yourself first. To truly alter your world, you must be whatever you desire before the world proves it to you, because it will never prove what you are already not. Sometimes life can be chaotic. It can feel as though everything terrible is happening at once, and it is choking you. The only way out of the chaos in your external reality is through cultivating peace internally. You need to be able to stand calmly among the chaos. The chaos will remain so long as it exists internally, but once removed and dissolved, eventually it has no choice but to do the same externally too. In some instances, it can feel as though we are powerless over reality, and the conditions, circumstances, events, and even people around us have more power than us. But you can regain your power with one realization. The power creating the chaos that's getting you down is owned by you. It has simply been externalized. The strength of the chaos is fueled by you. The power of that chaos doesn't belong to the external, it belongs to you. Any control the external has over you is only what you give it. The same strength of that chaos can be redirected to peace. It has no power or strength over you except what it borrows from you. You're projecting your power onto the chaos, thinking it is strong. No, it is you that is strong, and you always have been. You can redirect that same strength towards peace rather than chaos. The waves outside of you can only be brought to stillness by the stillness inside of you. It's worth reiterating here that the notion of things not working or going wrong is a confession of misalignment with the true essence of manifestation. Manifestation is internally shifting to a degree to which you are no longer emotionally dependent on seeing reality change. Things not working is an admission that you have not shifted internally to such a degree that your mind has accepted your desired reality.